the top dog, and the one who commands respect and attention. The beta, on the other hand, is seen as the follower, the second in command, content to stay in the shadows of the alpha. But the sigma male is different. He is the wild card, the one who doesn't fit neatly into these categories. Sigma males are the introverted counterparts of alpha males. They possess the strength and confidence of the alpha, but they prefer to operate solo. They're not led by a desire for social dominance, but rather, they're driven by their values and beliefs. Their power doesn't come from social hierarchy, but from their self-sufficiency and resilience. They are often misunderstood and seen as loners or rebels, but in reality, they are simply men who value their independence and prefer to live life on their own terms. They are comfortable in their own skin, unswayed by societal expectations and norms. Sigma males have unique traits that set them apart. They are introspective, often spending time reflecting on their thoughts and ideas. They are observers, preferring to take in the world around them rather than being the center of attention. They are self-reliant, not needing validation or approval from others, and they are adaptable, capable of thriving in any situation or environment. Understanding the sigma male is like trying to solve a complex puzzle. They can be enigmatic, elusive, and intriguing, but once you understand them, you realize their strength lies in their uniqueness and in their ability to be true to themselves in a world that often demands conformity. Now let's delve into 7 absurd things that baffle sigma males. First on our list, social rituals. It's almost like they're speaking a different language. Now, let's delve into the world of social rituals, where small talk and networking reign supreme. For many, these are essential tools of daily life, lubricating the gears of human interaction. But from the perspective of a sigma male, these practices can seem almost alien. Imagine you're at a party. Conversations are buzzing around you, punctuated with laughter and the clink of glasses. Yet, you're on the fringes, observing rather than participating. You may find yourself wondering, why is it necessary to engage in these seemingly trivial interactions? Well, welcome to the mindset of a sigma male. For sigma males, such social rituals often appear superficial and pointless. They see small talk as a diversion from meaningful conversations, a detour from the direct route to understanding. To them, discussing the weather or the latest football scores feels like an unproductive expenditure of energy. And then there's networking, the art of establishing connections for personal or professional gain. While some thrive in this environment, sigma males often find it inauthentic. They question the purpose of forming relationships based on self-interest, rather than genuine connection. They would rather stand alone than be a part of a network built on hollow interactions. This isn't to say that sigma males are antisocial, far from it. They value relationships deeply, but prefer them to be rooted in authenticity. They seek genuine connections, meaningful discussions, and real understanding. They want to delve beneath the surface to understand the why and how, not just the what. Their approach to social interaction is driven by a desire for authenticity and depth. They prefer the company of a few close friends to a room full of acquaintances. They enjoy deep philosophical discussions more than casual banter. They seek out those rare individuals who can engage with them on this level, who can challenge their thinking and offer fresh perspectives. In essence, sigma males march to the beat of their own drum, even in the realm of social interaction. They challenge the status quo, questioning practices that others accept without thought. They may be misunderstood, but they remain true to themselves. For sigma males, genuine connections trump superficial socializing any day. Next on our list, the relentless pursuit of popularity. This is a game that sigma males simply refuse to play. The concept of seeking popularity is, to them, an exercise in futility. It's like chasing a mirage that disappears just when you think you've grasped it. That's not to say sigma males are antisocial or loners. They just don't see the point in collecting shallow social points or amassing a legion of followers. They believe in quality over quantity, in connections over acquaintances. Why should they invest their time and energy into a popularity contest that, at the end of the day, serves no real purpose? This is where the sigma male's mindset diverges drastically from the mainstream. In a world where the number of likes, shares, and followers often determines a person's worth, sigma males find such validation hollow and meaningless. They see it as a distraction, a wild goose chase that only leads to emptiness and dissatisfaction. Instead of seeking approval from others, Sigma males look inward. They find validation in their own achievements, no matter how small or insignificant they may seem to the outside world. They set their own standards and live by their own rules. They don't need a crowd of admirers to feel successful or fulfilled. Sigma males understand that popularity is fleeting. Today's hero can easily become tomorrow's villain. They would rather be true to themselves than be adored by the masses. They know that the only person they need to impress is the one they see in the mirror. The idea of seeking popularity and validation from others is both absurd and unnecessary to a Sigma male. They believe that true self-worth comes from within, not from the number of people who clap for them. They don't need the spotlight to shine. Their inner light is bright enough. To a Sigma male, self-validation is the only kind that truly matters. They find comfort in their own company, contentment in their own accomplishments, and pride in their own abilities. They don't need a stage to perform or an audience to applaud. Their life is their own show, and they are their own biggest fans. Sigma males don't chase popularity. They chase their own dreams and carve their own paths. Number 3, conforming to societal norms. Now let's delve into the world of Sigma males and consider how they perceive societal norms and expectations. In essence, Sigma males find the concept of conforming to societal norms somewhat perplexing, perhaps even absurd. They see a world where people often wear masks pretending to be someone they're not in order to fit into a preconceived mold. But for Sigma males, this doesn't resonate. It doesn't make sense. Why should someone suppress their true self to fit into a box that society has arbitrarily defined? Sigma males choose to live life on their own terms, guided by their own moral compass and not by the pressures of societal expectations. This doesn't mean they disregard societal norms entirely or act recklessly. Instead, they critically assess these norms and only adopt those that align with their values and beliefs. They are not rebels without a cause, but rather they are thoughtful, introspective individuals who refuse to be swayed by societal pressures. In a world that often rewards conformity, Sigma males stand out as non-conformists. They march to the beat of their own drum, unafraid of carving their own path. This might lead them to be misunderstood or labeled as outcasts, but they are comfortable in their skin and confident in their choices. For them, authenticity is not a choice, but a way of life. Sigma males are not concerned with fitting in, they're concerned with being true to themselves. They understand that their worth is not determined by how well they fit into societal norms, but by their own self-perception and self-worth. They do not seek validation from others, but find it within themselves. In conclusion, the concept of conforming to societal norms is absurd to Sigma males. They see it as a constraint on individuality and personal growth. They believe in being authentic, in being true to oneself, and in living life on their own terms. They value their freedom to think, to act, and to choose for themselves, above the comfort of fitting in. For Sigma males, being authentic is more important than fitting in. Fourth on our list, materialism. We live in a world where material possessions often define a person's worth, where wealth is measured in the cars we drive and the houses we live in. This is a concept that the Sigma male finds absurd in its entirety. The Sigma male is not swayed by the glitz and glamour of material possessions. They don't find the need to indulge in the latest tech gadget or the most expensive designer wear. Instead, they value the intangible, the experiences, the knowledge, and the wisdom gained from a life well lived. Picture this. A Sigma male walks into a room filled with people flaunting their wealth. The air is thick with the scent of expensive perfumes, the clink of designer watches against champagne glasses, and the chatter about the latest luxury purchases. Amid this, the Sigma male stands out, not because of the brand of his clothes, but because of the wisdom in his words, the depth of his thoughts, and the richness of his experiences. The Sigma male understands that material possessions are transient, they come and go, but experiences, knowledge, wisdom, these are the treasures that stand the test of time, the wealth that can't be stolen or lost. They value a good book over a designer watch, a stimulating conversation over a swanky party, a serene hike over a lavish vacation. This is not to say that Sigma males live in poverty or shun all material possessions. No, they too enjoy the comforts of life, but they don't let these possessions define them or their worth. They understand that wealth is not just about what's in the bank, but what's in the mind and heart. Materialism, the obsession with possessions, the race to amass more and more, it all seems absurd to the Sigma male. They see through this illusion, understanding that true wealth lies in the richness of one's experiences and the depth of one's knowledge. To a Sigma male, wealth is not measured in dollars, but in wisdom and experiences. Number 5, emotional display. In the vast tapestry of human interaction, emotional displays often serve as the threads binding us together. Shared joy, shared sorrow, shared anger, these are the currencies of connection. Yet, for the enigmatic Sigma male, these open displays of emotion, particularly negative ones, can seem bewildering, even absurd. Sigma males are not devoid of emotions. In fact, their emotional world can be rich and profound. However, they view emotions differently, as an intensely personal matter. They don't see the point in putting their feelings on display, especially when those feelings are negative. For them, emotions are like a private conversation, something to be navigated internally rather than shared openly. This perspective is not born out of a desire to appear stoic or unfeeling. Rather, it arises from a belief that emotional displays can often be unproductive, even harmful. They may see public outbursts as a way of unloading one's pain onto others, of creating unnecessary drama, or even of manipulating those around them. Moreover, Sigma males often value logic and rationality. They believe that decisions should be made based on facts and reason, not on fleeting feelings. They may find it absurd when people allow their emotions to dictate their actions, especially when those actions have far-reaching consequences. Yet this does not mean Sigma males are cold or unempathetic. Quite the contrary. They can be deeply empathetic, capable of understanding and relating to the emotions of others. However, they prefer to offer support and understanding in a quieter, more personal way. They might not join in the collective weeping, but they'll be there in the background, offering a listening ear or a comforting word when it's truly needed. This approach to emotions may be difficult for others to understand. It may even be misinterpreted as aloofness or indifference. But for Sigma males, it's simply their way of navigating the emotional landscape, a landscape they believe should be traversed with care, discretion, and respect. For Sigma males, emotions are personal and should be dealt with in private. 6th on our list, the need for leadership. In the grand tapestry of human interactions, we often find ourselves tangled in the threads of leadership and hierarchy. This is a concept that many find necessary, even comforting. For Sigma males, however, the notion of needing a leader to guide them, to dictate their actions and decisions, is utterly absurd. Sigma males are the lone wolves of our societal structure, the silent observers who prefer to march to the beat of their own drum rather than following the conductor's baton. They are the architects of their own lives, the captains of their own ships. They don't seek a leader because, quite simply, they are their own leaders. This isn't to say Sigma males are averse to learning. They are perpetual students, soaking up knowledge from every source available. But they process this information through their own unique lens. They make decisions based on their own understanding, not because they are dictated by a figure of authority. In the workplace, a Sigma male might seem indifferent to the corporate ladder. This doesn't mean they lack ambition. On the contrary, their ambition is directed inward towards personal growth and self-improvement, rather than outward towards a position of power over others. In social settings, they are the quiet observers, not the loud leaders. They don't feel the need to dominate conversations or control the group's direction. They're content to listen, to learn, and to contribute when they feel it's necessary. The Sigma male's rejection of traditional leadership doesn't stem from a place of arrogance or rebellion. It is born out of a deep-seated belief in the power of individuality, the strength of self-reliance, and the freedom of autonomy. This unique approach to leadership, or the lack thereof, might seem strange to some, but to a Sigma male, it's simply the most logical path. Why follow another's footsteps when you can carve your own trail? Why let someone else hold the reins when you're perfectly capable of steering your own course? To a Sigma male, everyone is their own leader. Last but not least, fear of solitude. It's a sentiment that sends shivers down the spine of many. The eerie quiet, the empty spaces, the lack of companionship. To some, these are things to be avoided at all costs. But for Sigma males, this fear is utterly incomprehensible. Why, you may ask? Well, because Sigma males are the proverbial lone wolves. They thrive in solitude. They don't just tolerate it, they actively seek it. While others might see solitude as a curse, a Sigma male sees it as an opportunity, a chance for self-discovery and personal growth. In the quiet moments alone, away from the noise of society, Sigma males find their peace. They have the mental fortitude to be alone with their thoughts, to introspect, to ponder life's mysteries without the need for constant chatter or validation. They are not afraid to confront their innermost thoughts and feelings. They don't seek distractions, they seek answers. Moreover, Sigma males understand the difference between solitude and loneliness. While loneliness is a state of feeling alone and unwanted, solitude is a state of being alone but content. It's a time for reflection, for personal development, for embracing the self. For Sigma males, solitude is a sanctuary, a place where they can recharge their batteries, refocus their minds, and reconnect with their inner selves. They relish the freedom that comes with solitude, the freedom to think, to dream, to create without interruption or influence. It's not that Sigma males don't value companionship or human connection. They do. But they also know the importance of balancing social interaction with moments of solitude. They understand that solitude can be a source of strength, a catalyst for creativity, and a pathway to inner peace. So the next time you find yourself alone, don't fear the silence. Embrace it, learn from it, grow from it. After all, solitude is not a condition to be feared, but an opportunity to be seized. For Sigma males, solitude is not loneliness, but a source of strength and peace. So, what does all this mean for Sigma males? Well, let's take a moment to reflect on the 7 absurdities we've explored. From the perplexing social rituals to the relentless pursuit of popularity, the need for conformity, the allure of materialism, the expectation of emotional display, the incessant need for leadership, and the fear of solitude. These are the facets of society that simply don't resonate with the Sigma male. Each of these absurdities shapes the Sigma male's worldview and behavior in unique ways. They choose solitude over popularity, value substance over material wealth, and prefer to navigate life on their own terms rather than conforming to societal norms. They remain unfazed by the emotional theatrics that society often demands, and they lead when it's necessary, not because it's expected. In a world that often seems absurd to them, Sigma males continue to march to the beat of their own drum.
They lied, they cheated, they manipulated. But guess what? When the world plays dirty, the Sigma male doesn't just survive, he outmaneuvers. While others throw shade and sling mud, the Sigma male operates on a different level. He doesn't stoop to their games because he knows something vital. Power isn't loud, it's strategic, it's silent, it's calculated. Let's break it down. Studies in psychology reveal that people with high levels of independence and self-awareness, traits common in Sigma males, are less reactive to social manipulation. Why? Because they aren't wired to seek validation from others. This makes them immune to guilt-tripping, gaslighting, and most toxic group dynamics. While the manipulators gather like wolves in a pack, the Sigma operates like a lone panther, silent, agile, and efficient. He observes patterns, anticipates moves, and adapts without fanfare. He plays the long game. When they cheated, he didn't retaliate, he refocused. When they gossiped, he didn't argue, he outperformed. And when they tried to tear him down, he used the rubble to build his empire. That silence, that calm presence, it's not weakness, it's emotional intelligence. It's the kind of composure that sends ripples through a room full of noise. And here's the kicker. They never saw it coming. While they fought for attention, he built influence. While they sought applause, he mastered discipline. In the end, the Sigma didn't just win, he outlasted everyone. This isn't just a mindset, it's a movement. So if you're playing the long game, keep building, stay silent, and remember, Sigma doesn't react, he redirects. Number 1, The dirty game begins, recognizing the playground of manipulation. First off, let's call it what it is. Life isn't always fair. People lie, sabotage, and throw shade just to climb the ladder, and they'll step on anyone to get there. But Sigma males, they don't play in the mud, they observe it. The Sigma male archetype represents the lone wolf, independent, intelligent, and emotionally self-sufficient. In a world driven by status games and social hierarchies, Sigmas quietly opt out. They're not here to compete for attention or validation. Instead, they focus on self-mastery, strategy, and truth. Think of the Sigma as a silent chess master. While others flip the board in rage over minor losses, the Sigma remains calm, analyzing every move, staying 3 steps ahead. Research in behavioral psychology even supports this approach. Individuals who cultivate self-awareness and emotional regulation are more likely to succeed in high-stress environments without resorting to manipulation or conflict. Sigmas thrive because they know the game but choose not to play it. They see through fake smiles, hidden agendas, and toxic workplaces not with paranoia, but with clarity. They don't lash out. They detach, observe, and adapt. This ability to stay grounded while chaos swirls is rooted in a principle known as cognitive detachment, the art of separating your emotions from the situation to make better decisions. And here's the twist. Peace is their power. While others exhaust themselves trying to outshine, outtalk, or outmaneuver each other, Sigmas master the art of stillness. They invest in their skills, guard their time, and choose their battles. They don't need to match chaos with chaos. They win by refusing to react and choosing to respond. So if the world feels like a rigged carnival of egos, remember this. You don't have to join the circus. Be the one who studies the ring, understands the acts, and walks away with clarity. That's the Sigma edge, silent, strategic, and unshakable. Number 2, Sigma's secret weapon, emotional detachment. While others scramble for social media validation, chasing trends and tailoring every post for likes, the Sigma male remains emotionally detached. Not because he lacks emotion, but because he understands something most overlook. Emotional discipline equals power. Unlike alpha males who often assert dominance through social hierarchies, or beta males who seek group approval, the Sigma male operates outside the social structure entirely. He doesn't seek validation because he's self-validated. According to psychologist Carl Jung's theory of individuation, Sigma males exhibit a high degree of self-awareness and authenticity. They've internalized their worth, so external opinions hold little weight. This detachment doesn't make them cold. It makes them composed. When others get swept up in emotional drama or online clout battles, the Sigma's silence speaks volumes. While one person's ego rises and falls with every notification, the Sigma uses his quiet to sharpen focus and preserve energy. In a world obsessed with being seen, the Sigma's power comes from being unseen. Let's talk ghosting. If someone disappears from a Sigma's life without explanation, he doesn't spiral into anxiety or double text. He simply mirrors the silence and retreats deeper into his solitude. Ironically, that unbothered reaction often leaves the other person more shaken than if he had begged for attention. This is based on the psychological principle of reactance. The less someone reacts, the more the other person wants their attention. The Sigma male doesn't chase what's leaving. He honors what stays, and more importantly, he honors himself. His cave, metaphorically speaking, is not a lonely place. It's a fortress of peace, growth, and clarity. And here's the kicker. Your silence isn't just a lack of noise, it's a strategy. It signals self-respect, boundary setting, and mental strength. In a world that's constantly shouting for attention, choosing silence can be the loudest statement of all. So don't let the world pull you into its chaos. Remember, your silence is your sword. Use it wisely. Number 3, outsmarting the narcissists, strategy over emotion. The Sigma male doesn't need to shout to be heard. He doesn't crave attention, approval, or validation. His power lies in his quiet observation, sharp intellect, and deliberate detachment. While the world chases applause, the Sigma male chases clarity. He's not playing for popularity, he's playing for peace. This unique archetype, often misunderstood, thrives on autonomy. Unlike alpha males, who seek dominance, or beta males who seek acceptance, the Sigma walks alone. Not because he's antisocial, but because he's anti-drama. He doesn't react, he analyzes. When a narcissist steps into the room, manipulating emotions like a puppeteer, the Sigma doesn't bite. Instead, he watches, he listens, he deciphers patterns. Narcissists thrive on control through confusion and chaos, but Sigma males use logic and emotional detachment as armor. It's not about being cold. It's about being strategic. Like a chess master, the Sigma sees 3 moves ahead. He spots the red flags long before they turn into explosions. Think of him as Jason Bourne, calm, calculating, and always prepared to exit the scene before it turns toxic. Studies in behavioral psychology show that those with higher emotional intelligence can detect manipulation more quickly and protect themselves from it. Sigma males often display these traits using self-awareness and introspection as tools to maintain control over their environment. Drama isn't just avoided, it's dissected. The Sigma analyzes emotional traps and sidesteps them with precision. He doesn't argue or try to prove his point. He distances himself. Why fight for approval when you can walk away with your peace? At the core, being Sigma is about freedom, freedom from social games, from toxic influence, and from emotional captivity. The Sigma male's path isn't loud, but it's powerful. He knows this truth. You don't need their approval to live your life. You need your mind clear, your heart guarded, and your purpose firm. You're not here to win anyone's favor. You're here to win your freedom, and that's exactly what the Sigma male does. Number 4, building in the shadows, the ultimate play. Here's the part they never saw coming. While they laughed, gossiped, and schemed, the Sigma male was building. Not for applause, not for validation, but for purpose. While others wasted their energy tearing others down to feel taller, the Sigma was busy laying a foundation, building his body, mind, skills, and future. Let's break this down. Sigma males often embrace self-discipline when it comes to physical health. It's not about vanity, but strength, both physical and mental. Studies from the American Psychological Association confirm that regular exercise boosts not only muscle and endurance, but also mood, focus, and discipline. Early morning runs, late-night gym sessions, or simple calisthenics. It's all part of training the body as a gateway to mastering the mind. After all, a strong body often fuels a strong will. Instead of wasting hours on gossip or binge-watching endless dramas, Sigma males invest in their mental growth. The average CEO reportedly reads around 60 books a year, soaking up knowledge that keeps them ahead. While a Sigma may not seek a fancy title, he adopts the same relentless hunger to learn, whether through books, podcasts, or online courses. This continuous learning sharpens critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and resilience. From coding to communication, martial arts to money management, Sigma males don't wait for opportunities, they create them. Studies show that consistently learning new skills improves cognitive flexibility and adaptability, key traits in a fast-changing world. This empire isn't always a business empire. It could be financial independence, a personal brand, or a life crafted on his own terms. Sigmas practice delayed gratification. While others chase instant likes, he stacks assets and value silently. Number 5, the return. When silence breaks, it roars. Years later, they see him again, but this time he's not the same man who vanished without a trace. There's something different about him, an undeniable air of quiet certainty and magnetic presence. When he walks into a room, conversations pause and eyes subtly turn. It's not about volume or loud dominance. It's a calm command that resonates deep within the space. Sharp yet grounded, his energy doesn't shout, it hums. People whisper in awe, "What happened to him? What happened?" He's Sigma'd up. The Sigma male isn't just another personality type. He operates on a different wavelength altogether. While the world is often obsessed with clout, validation, and social climbing, the Sigma chooses a path less traveled, strategic disappearance. But this vanishing act isn't a sign of weakness or defeat. It's a deliberate move toward growth, self-mastery, and transformation. To understand this better, let's turn to psychology. Carl Jung, one of the pioneers of personality theory, identified several archetypes. Among them is the lone wolf, the introverted alpha, often called the Sigma male in modern discourse. Unlike the alpha male who leads the pack with bold dominance, the Sigma controls his own territory silently and independently. He doesn't follow the herd or conform to social expectations. He rewrites the rules of engagement. Self-sufficient, adaptable, and deeply introspective, the Sigma male thrives in solitude. So, what really happens during his disappearance? He goes into ghost mode, not to hide, but to upgrade. This isn't about superficial changes like new jobs or looks. It's a deep internal overhaul of mindset, habits, and purpose. While others get lost scrolling social media or engaging in trivial drama, he's out there building skills, sharpening his mind, and setting clear, meaningful goals. He understands a profound truth. Time favors the focused. Take Steve Jobs, for example. When Apple ousted him in 1985, many thought his career was over. But he didn't just disappear, he pivoted. Jobs founded Next, acquired Pixar, and honed his vision. By the time he returned to Apple, he wasn't the same man. He was an evolved force, ready to revolutionize the tech world. This is a classic Sigma move. Disappear, evolve, then return stronger. This transformation isn't about arrogance, it's about alignment. The Sigma male stops chasing people's approval and starts chasing purpose. When others throw dirt, he refuses to get dirty. Instead, he grows beyond the game, becoming the unexpected storm that reshapes the landscape. Psychologically, this is known as post-traumatic growth. Research shows that people who face adversity and intentionally process their challenges often emerge stronger, more resilient, and more focused. The Sigma doesn't avoid pain, he transforms it into power. He masters emotional regulation, builds intellectual capital, and invests deeply in silence. He develops unshakable self-discipline, tuning out the noise of the world to hear his own inner strength. Now, when he speaks, people listen, not because he demands it, but because his presence naturally commands respect. And the best part? He doesn't do it to impress others. He does it because he owes it to himself. So next time someone disappears from your life, don't assume they've lost. They might be quietly working in the lab of life, crafting a version of themselves so transformed that when they return, all anyone can ask is, what happened to him? He Sigma'd up. And remember, time always favors the focused. Number 6, lessons from the Sigma path, how you can apply this today. Sigmas, if you've ever been played, lied to, or overlooked, you know the sting of being misunderstood or underestimated, but here's the truth that separates the wise from the rest. You don't respond to chaos, you redirect it. Why? Because chaos thrives on reaction. When you engage impulsively with drama or negativity, you're essentially feeding the beast. Think of it like a fire. Throwing gasoline on it makes it roar higher, but quietly removing the fuel source lets it burn out. Redirecting chaos means you choose the narrative, the energy, and the outcome, not the chaos itself. Next, don't announce your moves. This is classic Sigma strategy. The world loves to watch the loud players who broadcast their every step, hoping for applause. But the true power move? Make your progress undeniable without fanfare. Let your actions speak so loud they drown out the noise of the doubters and manipulators. History is filled with examples of great leaders and innovators who quietly worked behind the scenes, then dropped achievements that stunned everyone. Think of Tesla working in obscurity, or Warren Buffett steadily building his empire while others chased headlines, and about arguing with clowns. Never waste your energy. In psychology, clowns here are the provocateurs, those who thrive on attention and chaos. The crowd can't always tell who's serious and who's just making noise. Arguing with them only drags you down to their level. Instead, stay composed, maintain your dignity, and rise above. Your silence can be your loudest statement. So, what should you do instead? Get sharper. This means constantly honing your mind. Learn new skills, read deeply, challenge your beliefs. Intellectual growth is a Sigma's secret weapon. Get healthier. Physical fitness isn't just about looks, it's about discipline, stamina, and confidence. Get smarter, not just book smart, but emotionally intelligent, understanding social dynamics and human behavior. Upgrade in silence. This is the ultimate Sigma mantra. Work on yourself when no one is watching, so when you emerge, your success is undeniable. Winning in private means building your legacy quietly, far from the distractions of superficial praise or envy, because the greatest play is the one they never see coming. Number 7, inspiration for every Sigma watching. To every Sigma out there building in silence, know this: choosing a path away from drama and chaos is not a sign of weakness or isolation. In fact, it's a mark of wisdom and strength. Sigmas aren't anti-social, they're anti-bullshit. This distinction is crucial because while extroverts thrive in social settings and alphas often seek the spotlight, Sigmas quietly carve their own way without the need for validation or unnecessary noise. Psychologically, choosing solitude is a strategic move. Studies in social behavior show that introverted or independent personalities often recharge better alone, allowing their minds the clarity to think deeply and plan smartly. This is why Sigmas tend to avoid drama. not out of fear or coldness, but out of a deliberate choice to protect their energy and focus on what truly matters. Putting yourself first isn't selfish, it's essential self-care. Research in emotional intelligence emphasizes the importance of setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing your mental and emotional health. Sigmas understand that without inner stability, no external success or connection is sustainable. And here's a fascinating truth about patience and timing. Like a storm brewing quietly, Sigmas prepare behind the scenes. When the time is right, their impact is undeniable, often catching others off guard. It's a powerful reminder that success isn't always loud or immediate. It's the result of consistent, smart effort done quietly. Now, about karma, it's often described as the universe's way of balancing actions. When people play dirty, the consequences often circle back, sometimes in unexpected ways. Ironically, those who caused harm may eventually find themselves needing the help of the very person they underestimated. This is not just poetic justice, it's a practical reminder to keep integrity as your guide. So stay on your path, keep playing smarter, and trust the process. Your time is coming, and when it does, those who doubted you will be left wondering how they missed the storm that was building right beneath their noses. Sigmas, if this hit you in the gut, if it reminded you of your strength, your silence, your strategy, then you know what to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe and join this growing community of strategic thinkers, lone wolves, and silent powerhouses. Apply these qualities. Live smarter, play wiser. They may have played dirty, but Sigmas, we played smarter. Stay true and stay Sigma. Sigmas, if you've ever felt like a lone wolf in a world obsessed with selfies, followers, and viral moments, you're not alone. While the masses shout to be seen, Sigma males often say more with their silence than others do with megaphones. So today's question is, if you have any of these habits, you're definitely a Sigma. But if you don't, this isn't about being superior, it's about understanding a unique psychological archetype, one that's rare but powerful. Sigma males typically embody traits like independence, introspection, and quiet confidence. They don't reject society, they simply don't rely on it for validation. For example, a key Sigma habit is thriving in solitude. Unlike extroverts who gain energy from social interaction, or even introverts who still need close circles, Sigmas recharge in isolation and often produce their best work alone. Studies in personality psychology even link this to high levels of self-determination and intrinsic motivation. Another signature move, nonconformity. Sigmas challenge norms. Not for rebellion, but because they're guided by internal logic. While others follow trends, Sigmas often start them unintentionally. It's like showing up in worn-out boots and accidentally creating a fashion statement. Then there's the refusal to chase approval. Instead of asking, will they like me? A Sigma asks, do I like this version of me? That mindset flips the script. So if you recognize these habits in yourself, solitude over crowds, conviction over conformity, and authenticity over applause, congratulations, you're not lost. You're just walking a rare path carved by clarity, not noise. If not, maybe it's time to look inward and start asking the real questions. Welcome to the Sigma frequency. Let's keep going. Point 1, you disappear to recharge, not to hide. While most people fear solitude, you crave it not as an escape, but as a sanctuary for growth and clarity. Solitude isn't your weakness, it's your sanctuary, your creative engine, your recalibration zone. In a world addicted to noise, you find meaning in silence. Research supports this instinct. Studies in cognitive neuroscience have shown that periods of solitude improve concentration, creativity, and emotional regulation. A 2017 study published in the journal Perspectives on Psychological Science found that people who embrace alone time experience greater self-reflection and personal growth. When you're alone, the brain's default mode network activates. This is the system responsible for introspection, memory, and imagination. This is why you seek isolation not out of loneliness, but to reset. Like a monk in meditation or a tactician reviewing the battlefield, solitude is where you recharge and rethink. The distractions vanish. You're not performing for anyone. There's no pressure to explain yourself. It's in this stillness that your thoughts sharpen and your decisions gain precision. It confuses people. They interpret your absence as withdrawal, even rejection. But they don't understand that silence is your superpower. You're not disconnecting from them, you're reconnecting with yourself. You're not avoiding the world. You're preparing to face it with clarity and purpose. This trait mirrors the behavior of high-achieving individuals across time. Think of Nikola Tesla, who famously said, "The mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude." Or Steve Wozniak, who built the first Apple computer not in a crowded lab, but alone in his garage. Solitude is often the soil where genius is planted. So while the crowd scrolls through noise and chases attention, you disappear into thought, into vision, into growth. Like a philosopher in a leather jacket, you're not lonely, you're reloading. When you return, you bring ideas sharper than swords and decisions anchored in authenticity. In a world that doesn't pause, you are the pause, the stillness before the storm, the calm before the breakthrough. And that's a kind of power most people never tap into. Point 2. You observe more than you speak. Sigmas aren't the loudest in the room, and they don't need to be. While others compete for attention with flashy words and exaggerated gestures, the Sigma male operates with quiet confidence. He doesn't strive to be seen, he chooses when to be heard. That's what sets him apart. In social dynamics, extroversion is often mistaken for leadership, but research in personality psychology, particularly within the Big Five traits model, suggests otherwise. Sigmas usually score high in openness and conscientiousness, but lower in extroversion. This means they're more reflective, calculated, and self-directed. They process their environment thoroughly before engaging, giving them a strategic edge in both personal and professional settings. While others speak to fill silence, Sigmas speak to add value. Think of it like a sniper versus a machine gun. One takes deliberate aim, the other sprays wildly, hoping something lands. When a Sigma male speaks, people stop and listen, not because he's the loudest, but because they've learned that what he says is worth hearing. This quality is often misunderstood. Some might see the Sigma's silence as disinterest or arrogance, but what's really happening is observation and analysis. Sigmas take in the energy of the room, read the intentions behind words, and study body language. It's like having a built-in radar for authenticity. And when they finally choose to speak, their insights often feel like a plot twist in a movie, unexpected, sharp, and unforgettable. Take Abraham Lincoln, for example, who famously said, "Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and to remove all doubt." Many consider Lincoln to have had Sigma tendencies, introverted, introspective, yet highly influential. This is why Sigmas can thrive in leadership roles without dominating others. Their calm demeanor and selective communication style create a natural magnetism. People respect them not for the volume of their voice, but for the depth of their wisdom. So the next time you're in a crowded room and feel the urge to compete for attention, remember, sometimes the most powerful presence is the one that doesn't seek to be seen at all. It's the one that observes, waits, and strikes with precision. That's the Sigma way. Point 3, you don't follow trends, you question them. TikTok said do this, Instagram said wear that. Society said behave this way. But you questioned it all. That's not rebellion for attention, it's clarity with intention. While most people are running after trends like moths to a flame, you're asking the real questions. Does this align with my values? Does this serve my purpose? The Sigma mindset isn't about being difficult. It's about being deliberate. Psychologists recognize this personality as a blend of introversion, independence, and high self-awareness. Sigma males, in particular, are lone wolves, not because they're antisocial, but because they're internally driven. They don't look to culture for direction, they look inward. Trends are designed to generate mass appeal. Fashion, language, and even behaviors are constantly evolving to fit what's marketable, not necessarily what's meaningful. The average person sees what's popular and thinks, I should do that too. But the Sigma sees it and thinks, why? That critical pause, that mental resistance, is a powerful psychological trait called cognitive independence. This independence makes you unpredictable. Why? Because society can't manipulate what it can't influence. That kind of sovereignty is rare and threatening to people who rely on validation and groupthink to feel secure. But here's the Sigma advantage. You're not here to blend in, you're here to build something different. Where others conform, you transform. You forge your own path, even if it's unpopular. You measure success not by likes, follows, or applause, but by alignment with your purpose. You're not chasing what's hot, you're chasing what's real. And in a world flooded with noise, that authenticity isn't just refreshing, it's revolutionary. So when the world says, do this, wear that, act like us, and you respond with no thanks, You're not rejecting society. You're embracing yourself, and that's power. Point 4, you have a tight inner circle, if any at all. You don't need a crowd, just a few loyal, like-minded allies, and you're set. This isn't arrogance, it's intention. You value depth over drama, truth over tactics, and loyalty over likes. While others collect acquaintances like trophies, you're curating a tribe where honesty flows freely and pretense has no seat at the table. This mindset is rooted in psychology. Studies in social cognition suggest that humans can only maintain around 150 stable relationships known as Dunbar's number. But within that circle, it's the quality, not quantity, that drives emotional well-being. People who focus on meaningful relationships often report higher levels of life satisfaction and lower levels of stress. Why? Because authenticity is grounding. It shields you from the chaos of superficiality. To you, loyalty isn't negotiable. Trust isn't given. It's earned. And if someone can't handle the truth, then they simply don't belong in your orbit. That's not harsh. It's self-preservation, and it's not about being antisocial. It's about being selective. You don't waste time decoding mixed signals or dancing around false intentions. This behavior can be misread. Some may label you distant or cold, but here's the paradox. The very traits that make you misunderstood are the ones that also earn respect. Your boundaries aren't barriers, they're filters. And in a world addicted to attention, being selective is a power move. Think of it like tuning a radio. You don't need noise, you need a clear frequency. And when you find people who vibrate at your level, the connection isn't just social, it's soulful. So while others chase crowds, you build a fortress of truth. It's smaller, yes, but it's stronger. And in that sacred space of loyalty, honesty, and realness, you thrive. Point 5, you work in silence and let results speak. While others are showcasing their lives in curated posts and highlight reels, you're in the shadows, working, not hiding, building. While the world scrolls, you grind. You're the type who prefers action over applause, results over recognition. That's the difference between noise and legacy. There's psychological evidence backing this mindset. A 2009 study from NYU found that publicly announcing your goals can give your brain a premature sense of accomplishment. You feel rewarded before doing the work, which actually decreases motivation. In other words, the more you talk, the less you tend to execute. Meanwhile, you're laying bricks in silence, one rep at a time, one late-night brainstorm at a time. You don't post every gym selfie because your results speak louder than filters. You don't broadcast your every hustle because your wins will one day be undeniable. It's the difference between looking rich and actually building wealth. This mentality echoes the philosophy of the Sigma male archetype, an independent, self-reliant individual who doesn't seek validation from the crowd. You understand that discipline outperforms dopamine. Real confidence isn't loud. It's quiet, precise, and consistent. When you move in silence, your success becomes your announcement. It shocks people because they didn't see it coming, but you did. You saw it when you were in the trenches, crafting plans when others were partying. You saw it while others were posting about ambition, and you were living it. Because in the end, talk is cheap. Execution, that's priceless. While others chase attention, you build a legacy. And when you finally step into the light, it won't be to prove anything, it'll be to lead. Point 6, you can lead, but you don't chase leadership. Sigmas are natural leaders, not because they chase the spotlight, but because they embody quiet influence. Unlike traditional alpha personalities who dominate with charisma and hierarchy, Sigmas operate outside the social structure. They don't beg for the throne because they never needed one to begin with. Their leadership is magnetic, not manufactured. It's gravity, not grandstanding. One key reason people follow Sigmas is because they lead by example, not ego. Psychologists call this servant leadership, a style where leaders prioritize the growth and well-being of others. Research shows that this style builds trust and long-term loyalty. Sigmas are often the ones who do the right thing when no one is watching. They keep their word, own their responsibilities, and face adversity without drama. This quiet consistency earns them respect without the need for self-promotion. They don't need external validation. Science backs this too. Studies in emotional intelligence have shown that individuals who score high in self-awareness and self-regulation tend to have more internal motivation. In simpler terms, they don't rely on applause to know their worth. That's Sigma energy. When crises strike or leadership falters, who do people look to? Not the loudest voice in the room, but the calmest. That's when sigmas rise, silently, steadily, powerfully, because leadership to them isn't about titles, but action. When everyone else is scrambling, they're thinking 3 steps ahead. When the plan falls apart, they're already building a new one. Think of figures like Keanu Reeves or Elon Musk, private, introspective, but undeniably influential. They don't demand attention, attention follows them. They don't play by the social rule book, they rewrite it. So no, you don't wear a crown, but when the storm comes and the structure shakes, people turn to you, not because you asked to lead, but because you're already leading. That's the Sigma way, unspoken, unshakable, unstoppable. Point 7, you value freedom over comfort. Comfort is a trap. Sigmas know this deeply. It's a fundamental truth woven into their mindset and lifestyle. While most people naturally seek comfort, the path of least resistance, Sigmas understand that true growth, freedom, and fulfillment lie beyond the cozy cage of familiarity. Why is comfort a trap? Psychologists have long studied the comfort zone and its limitations. It's a behavioral space where everything feels safe and predictable, but it also stifles potential and creativity. When you remain in comfort, your brain resists change because change requires energy and risks uncertainty. That's why so many people settle for a dull job or stay in unfulfilling relationships. It feels easier than facing the unknown. Sigmas reject this trap. They choose freedom over security, even if that means risking failure or starting from scratch. This mindset mirrors findings from research on high achievers and entrepreneurs, who often embrace risk and uncertainty because they prioritize autonomy and self-actualization over mere comfort. The 9-to-5 grind, for example, might offer stability, but it can also suffocate the spirit, limit creative expression, and clip the wings of someone wired for independence. A Sigma male values his freedom like sacred treasure. He is willing to walk away from toxic situations, dead-end jobs, or relationships that drain his energy without looking back. This willingness to embrace uncertainty and possible failure stems from a core belief that freedom and authenticity are worth more than a cushy cage. The truth is, comfort may feel good temporarily, but it often leads to stagnation. The willingness to face discomfort, uncertainty, and failure is what propels Sigmas toward extraordinary lives. It's about protecting the freedom to grow, explore, and become the person they were meant to be, even if it means starting over again and again. That's the Sigma way. Point 8, you're immune to peer pressure. You don't care if everyone else is going left. If your gut says go right, that's exactly where you're headed. This kind of mindset goes beyond just being stubborn or contrary. It's a reflection of a deeply ingrained personal compass that guides your decisions regardless of the crowd's direction. Psychologists often refer to this as a trait linked with strong self-awareness and confidence. Studies have shown that people who rely on their intuition and inner judgment tend to have better decision-making skills in complex or uncertain situations. Why? Because they're less influenced by external noise and social pressure, allowing clearer access to their own values and goals. This resistance to the herd mentality means you aren't easily swayed by popular opinion or trends. Social psychologist Solomon Asch famously demonstrated in the 1950s through his conformity experiments how powerful peer pressure can be, but you, the independent thinker, resist that influence. Being called stubborn or difficult by others might actually be a compliment in disguise. It means you have an unshakable alignment with your own internal compass, and you're willing to stand firm in what you believe, even when it's unpopular. This rare independence is also magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who confidently chart their own path. It's not arrogance, it's authenticity. When you embody that confidence and authenticity, you inspire others to question their own conformity and find courage to be true to themselves. So next time someone calls you stubborn or difficult, remember you're not just going your own way, you're leading with integrity and courage. In a world that often values fitting in, being the one who dares to go right when everyone goes left is a superpower, one that's educational, empowering, and genuinely magnetic. Sigmas, these aren't just habits. They're battle-tested blueprints. If you have even a few of them, you're not just different. You're dangerous, in the best way. You don't fit into the system because you weren't built for it. You were built to build your own. So if these habits resonate with you, lean into them. Don't suppress your Sigma nature to make others comfortable. Own it, sharpen it, let it lead you. because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more sigmas. Sigmas. If this video hit you in the chest or lit a fire under your goals, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join this community of wolves among sheep. We don't follow the map, we draw it. Until next time, stay true and stay Sigma. They don't follow the rules, they rewrite them. Have you ever met someone who seems to operate on a completely different frequency, like the rules of life simply don't apply to them? Picture this. You walk into a room filled with people making small talk, laughing at jokes that aren't even funny, and trying to impress anyone who'll listen. And then there's this one guy, alone in the corner, calm, collected, observing everything, not needing to speak to be noticed, not trying to impress. And yet, everyone senses there's something different about him. That, my friend, is a Sigma male. Sigma males live in a way that seems borderline illegal to the average person. Not because they break the law, but because they break norms. They shatter expectations, escape the matrix of conformity, and challenge what society has deemed normal. Welcome, Sigmas, to a wild ride into the minds and lives of those who don't just walk the unbeaten path, they create it. Today, we're diving deep into 11 things Sigma males do that feel illegal to normal people. And trust me, by the end of this, you might realize you've been a Sigma all along, or at least wish you were. Because these men live by a code that demands silence over noise, purpose over popularity, and authenticity over approval. They don't care if society clutches its pearls, they're too busy building empires in silence. So buckle up, let's crack this code. Point 1. Disappearing without explanation. To the average person, ghosting feels like a betrayal. It's seen as rude, cold, or even cruel. But to a Sigma male, it's just Tuesday. Ghosting isn't about games or manipulation for him, it's about self-preservation. Sigma males value solitude like oxygen. They often retreat from social noise, not out of malice, but to recharge and refocus. Psychologists recognize this trait in introverted personalities who experience social burnout. For Sigmas, alone time isn't loneliness, it's restoration. They don't need validation through constant connection. While most people struggle with silence, a Sigma thrives in it. It's his natural element. He won't text back just to soothe your ego. He's not trying to be mysterious. He's prioritizing mental clarity and personal growth. And when he reappears, he won't explain himself, because to him there's nothing to explain. Others fake connections to keep up appearances. Sigmas disappear to become stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable. Point 2. Saying no without guilt. Want to watch a Sigma male rattle the world? Watch him say no. Not rudely, not arrogantly, just no. And that simple word feels like rebellion to people-pleasers everywhere. Sigma males aren't wired for guilt-based decisions. They don't bend for fake friendships, pointless meetings, or social pressure. He won't join your group trip, attend your office happy hour, or say yes to things that drain him. And he doesn't feel bad about it, because Sigmas understand this truth. Saying no to others is saying yes to themselves, and that kind of self-prioritization feels illegal in a world that worships burnout. Point 3. Enjoying being misunderstood. Here's the paradox. The more misunderstood a Sigma is, the more powerful he becomes. Most people desperately want to be understood, validated, and liked. Sigmas? They thrive in the shadows of misinterpretation. They know that being different comes at the price of being misunderstood. But they wear that as armor, not shame. They don't waste time explaining themselves to the masses. They let their results do the talking, their silence louder than your applause. It frustrates people who can't label them, who can't box them in. But Sigmas were never made for boxes anyway. Point 4. Thriving without a tribe. We live in a world that constantly screams, find your tribe, find your people. Society glorifies connection, validation, and shared identity. But Sigma males, they walk a different path, alone by choice. Sigmas don't seek approval or applause. They don't rely on a circle of friends or a crowd to feel validated. Instead, they move with quiet confidence, led by their own values and purpose. This doesn't mean they're antisocial. It means they're selectively social. They value authenticity over popularity. In a hyper-connected world where constant interaction is the norm, choosing solitude feels like rebellion. But for the Sigma, solitude isn't loneliness, it's empowerment. It's in these quiet moments that they reflect, grow, and sharpen their inner vision. Psychological studies even show that people who are comfortable being alone tend to have higher emotional intelligence and creativity. That's the Sigma's edge. They've discovered the rare strength in walking alone and owning every step. Point 5. Observing more than speaking. Most people talk to fill space. Sigmas remain silent to create depth. In a noisy world obsessed with being heard, the Sigma male chooses silence as a tool of strength. He listens first, not because he's unsure, but because he's collecting data. Psychologists say that active listening improves social intelligence and emotional awareness. Sigmas use this to read people like open books. Their silence isn't awkward, it's intentional. They speak only when their words carry weight, and that's why their voice hits harder when it's finally heard. While others compete to be loud, the Sigma commands presence through calm. Silence, for him, is a calculated strategy. Point 6. Living like they don't need validation. In a world addicted to likes, comments, and claps, Sigma males walk around like they didn't get the memo. They don't post for validation. They don't dress to impress. They don't adjust their personalities for social approval. To most people, this is confusing, scary even, because they can't understand how someone could not care what others think. But Sigma males derive their confidence from within. They're not built by applause. They're built in silence, in struggle, in solitude. And when they walk into a room, their authenticity speaks louder than any flex ever could. Point 7. Walking away without drama. Most people crave closure. One last conversation, a flurry of emotions, even a dramatic goodbye. But Sigma males operate differently. When a relationship, friendship, or environment no longer aligns with their peace or growth, they don't announce it with fireworks. They simply walk away. No drama, no drawn-out goodbyes. Just silence. This might seem cold to those who are emotionally dependent, but for Sigmas, it's a deeply personal boundary. Their detachment isn't about avoiding emotions. It's about prioritizing mental clarity and self-respect. Psychologists describe this behavior as quiet quitting relationships, where one distances themselves without confrontation, often as a form of emotional self-preservation. Sigmas understand that not every connection deserves closure. Some just need to end. They don't burn bridges, they just stop walking across them. And in doing so, they protect their energy and continue their path with focus and independence. That's not heartless, it's wisdom dressed in silence. Point 8. Outsmarting systems quietly. Sigmas are master tacticians. They don't storm the gates, they find the back door. While the world waits for permission, Sigmas figure things out. They bypass red tape, dodge social expectations, and craft unconventional paths to success. They're the guy who gets the job without the degree, builds the business without the funding, learns the skills without the schooling. They disrupt without making noise, rebel without making scenes. To the average person, their quiet victories feel unfair. But that's the thing. Sigmas play a different game. Point 9. Laughing at what others take seriously. People take pride in outrage today. Everything's offensive. Everyone's angry. Sigmas? They're chuckling in the background. They don't get caught up in drama, gossip, or fake crises. They maintain emotional detachment that confuses others. Why? Because they know most of it doesn't matter. They don't waste energy reacting to nonsense. Their humor, dry, sharp, sometimes dark, becomes a shield against a hypersensitive world. And it makes them seem almost too chill, as if they live in a different reality, because in many ways they do. Point 10. Choosing passion over paychecks. While most people chase job titles, financial security, and social status, Sigma males take a different path. They chase passion. Instead of trading their soul for a high-paying job they hate, Sigmas would rather earn less doing what fuels their spirit. This mindset confuses and even terrifies the average person who has been conditioned to equate success with status and income. But here's the truth. Studies in psychology show that people who pursue intrinsic goals like personal growth and meaningful work report higher levels of life satisfaction than those chasing extrinsic goals like fame or wealth. Sigmas understand this. They're not lazy. They're deeply aligned with what matters to them. While others may see quitting the rat race as reckless, Sigmas see it as reclaiming their freedom. They don't measure success in material gain, but in purpose, peace, and the joy of waking up every day excited to live life on their terms. Point 11. Refusing to compete. Sigmas don't compete, they create. In a world where everyone's fighting for the spotlight, Sigma males step away from the chaos and do something radical. They focus on their own lane. Instead of racing to outshine others, they build something so unique that comparison becomes irrelevant. Psychologically, this aligns with intrinsic motivation, driven by passion, not praise. While the alpha seeks dominance and the beta seeks approval, the sigma seeks mastery. They're the quiet architects of innovation, spending hours refining their craft, often unnoticed. But when their work finally emerges, it's not just good, it's game-changing. Think of visionaries like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. They didn't follow trends, they set them. That's sigma energy. It's not about winning someone else's game, it's about inventing a new one altogether. No fanfare, no noise, just results. While the world obsesses over trophies, Sigmas are already building the next level. Sigmas, if you found yourself nodding through this video, congrats, you're not weird. You're rare. You weren't made to follow, you were made to forge. So own your solitude, embrace your silence. Build your empire on your terms. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to join this growing community of lone wolves, silent warriors, and unapologetic nonconformists. Let the world wonder. Let them talk. You've got better things to do. Having said this, you're smart, you think differently, you don't follow the herd. But why is your bank account still looking like it's on a diet? Ever wondered why some of the most brilliant minds, especially Sigma males, seem to stay broke, while average minds are out here stacking paper like Legos? Picture this, a guy with the intellect of Tony Stark, the insight of Sherlock Holmes, and the independence of a lone wolf. He's got vision, depth, and laser-sharp focus. But while his mind is building empires in his head, his wallet's coughing up dust. Why? How can someone be so brilliant and still so broke? Here's the brutal truth. Intelligence doesn't guarantee wealth, and being a Sigma male, that lone wolf, self-reliant, rule-breaking brilliance, it comes with its own money traps. In this video, we're diving into 6 reasons Sigma males stay broke, even when they're brilliant. And trust me, these aren't your typical finance guru cliches. This goes deep into the psyche, the lifestyle, and the shadow side of being a Sigma. So buckle up, Sigmas. It's time to get honest. Let's break the silence. Reason 1, the lone wolf syndrome, refusing help. Sigmas pride themselves on being independent. They walk their own path, trust their instincts, and rarely rely on anyone else. They don't ask for directions, and they definitely don't ask for help. But here's a truth most people overlook. Wealth doesn't thrive in isolation. It flows through networks, relationships, and alliances. In today's world, collaboration is currency. According to a study published in the over 85% of top-performing businesses and entrepreneurs attribute their success to strong networks and partnerships. The lone wolf approach may win respect, but it rarely builds empires. While the Sigma is out there trying to build a spaceship from scratch, learning to weld, program, design, and test every component alone, others are strategically outsourcing parts, forming teams, attracting investors, and launching their dreams into orbit. Refusing help doesn't make you stronger. It often makes your journey longer, harder, and more expensive. Independence is powerful. It fuels resilience and sharpens decision-making, but is where the real magic happens. That's the sweet spot where self-reliance meets collaboration, and wealth begins to multiply. You can still be self-made without doing everything alone. Being self-made simply means you took initiative. It doesn't mean you rejected all support. Even Batman, the ultimate Sigma archetype, had Alfred. Behind every great man is often a quiet team, a loyal advisor, or a network of allies who help shape the vision. So if you're a Sigma, remember this. You don't have to lose your edge to accept help. Smart men build bridges, not walls, stay independent in spirit but collaborative in strategy. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Reason 2, passion over profit. Creating, not monetizing. Sigmas are driven by a powerful inner engine, passion. They're builders, thinkers, and visionaries. Whether it's designing a product, writing a book, or launching a tech idea, their fuel is inspiration. They dive deep into creative zones that others barely skim the surface of. But here's the catch. Passion alone doesn't pay the bills. Many Sigmas get so absorbed in their projects that they forget a crucial question. How does this become financially sustainable? They might spend months, even years, perfecting their craft, tweaking their app, or refining a message, without ever developing a revenue model. That's like crafting a luxury sports car but forgetting to install the engine. It may be beautiful, but it's not going anywhere. According to studies on entrepreneurship, over 42% of startups fail simply because there's no market need. Translation? People are building cool stuff, but not stuff that sells. Even more fail because they run out of money. Passion is powerful, but without a financial plan, it becomes a draining hobby rather than a thriving business. Sigmas aren't allergic to money, they're just socially distant from it. They don't chase it, but they shouldn't ignore it either. Money is not evil, it's a tool. Used wisely, it fuels more creation, more freedom, and more impact. Purpose needs a strategy. Passion needs structure. You can still stay true to your vision while designing systems that generate income. Monetization isn't selling out, it's scaling up. So don't just be the genius in the shadows. Be the strategist in the spotlight. Build the engine, the vehicle. Because when passion meets profit, Sigmas don't just dream, they dominate. Reason 3. Detest for self-promotion. Invisible genius. Let's face it, Sigma males hate bragging. They thrive in solitude, move in silence, and would rather let their results speak for themselves. They value self-mastery over self-promotion. But here's the twist. If no one knows what you do, how will they pay you? How will they support your mission, partner with your vision, or even know you exist? In today's digital world, visibility is currency. According to a 2023 study by Forbes, professionals who maintain an online presence earn up to 30% more than those who don't. That's not because they're better, it's because they're seen. If you've built something great, but keep it locked away in the shadows, the world misses out on your impact. Now, let's be clear. You don't have to become a hype machine. You don't have to overshare or turn into someone you're not. But you do need to show up. That might mean posting your insights, sharing your work, or letting people know what problems you solve. Think of it this way. You're not selling out by showing up. You're making it easier for the right people to find and reward your brilliance. You're not pretending to be something you're not. You're simply letting the world in on what already exists. You don't need to dance on TikTok. You don't need to chase trends, but you do need to open the blinds. Let the sunlight hit your genius. The world is noisy, but that's exactly why your authentic, grounded presence stands out. Don't just disappear into the shadows. Strategically step into the light when it matters. That's not ego, that's impact. Reason 4. Misunderstood value system, shunning materialism. A lot of Sigma males view wealth as shallow. They chase freedom, not Ferraris, and that's noble. But here's the truth. Money is actually a powerful tool. Freedom. It's not about being flashy, it's about having options. Sigma males value independence, autonomy, and the ability to move on their own terms. And guess what? Financial strength supports all of that. You don't have to wear designer brands or collect luxury watches to be wealthy. Minimalism and financial stability can absolutely coexist. In fact, many of the world's most successful thinkers and entrepreneurs, like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, lived simply while building empires. Wealth isn't the goal, it's the engine. Money isn't your master, it's your servant. It buys you time, mobility, access, and peace of mind. Want to disappear into the mountains for 6 months? Start your own business? Take care of your family without debt crushing your soul? You'll need money for that. The Sigma mindset should never reject wealth. It shouldn't, because when you control your money, you control your time. And when you control your time, you control your life. Learn to earn it, manage it, and invest it. That's true power. Reason 5. Obsession with control, fear of delegation. Sigmas love control. It's in their DNA. It's what makes them independent, strategic, and often brilliant leaders. They prefer to plan, execute, and succeed on their own terms. But here's the catch. That same desire for control can quietly sabotage their financial success. How? By trying to do everything themselves. Here's the truth. Doing everything alone doesn't make you stronger. It limits your growth. Time is finite. You can't scale your income if you're the only one doing the work. It's basic math. One person equals one output. But when you delegate, you multiply. One task off your plate frees up your brainpower for bigger income-generating moves. Think of Elon Musk or Steve Jobs. Were they control freaks? Absolutely. But they still built teams. They knew that real power isn't about micromanaging. It's about trusting the right people with the right tasks. So if you're a Sigma grinding solo, remember this: being a lone wolf doesn't mean being a lone worker. You're not weak for asking for help. You're wise. Delegation is a high-level strategy. It's not losing control, it's gaining leverage, because real leaders don't just work hard, they build systems that work for them. That's how you break the income ceiling. Reason 6, short-term disdain, long-term vision, no short-term strategy. Sigmas think in decades. Their vision boards aren't just about next year, they stretch beyond 2050. That's long-range thinking at its finest. But here's the catch. Vision without immediate action is just daydreaming. You can't build a skyscraper by staring at the blueprint. You need bricks, daily, weekly, monthly bricks. Research shows that people who set specific short-term goals are 33% more likely to achieve long-term success. So while a Sigma maps out his future like a chess grandmaster, he also knows the power of the next move. Don't just dream big, act small. Create micro goals that stack up to your macro vision. A masterpiece isn't created in one bold gesture, it's painted stroke by stroke. Build your empire now, one smart decision at a time. That's how a Sigma plays the long game. Here's the real deal. Sigmas, you were never meant to be average. Your brilliance is rare, but brilliance doesn't pay the bills unless you channel it. Wealth doesn't require selling your soul, it requires strategy. It requires owning your genius and aligning it with systems that scale. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to refine how you move, because the world needs your vision. But it also needs your version of success to be visible, scalable, and sustainable. All right, Sigmas. If this video spoke to that silent genius in you, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. Join this community of lone wolves who are done being broke. Let's build something that reflects not just our minds, but our worth. Greetings, Sigmas. What if I told you that Sigma males, those mysterious lone wolves of the social hierarchy, have body language so strange, so subtle, that it sends powerful signals others can't even interpret? There's this guy I used to see at the gym, never flexed, never bragged, barely spoke. Yet, every time he walked in, people noticed. Women were intrigued, men were confused. Trainers tried to figure him out. What was his secret? Was it his routine? Nope. It was how he carried himself, the unspoken cues of a Sigma male. And that, my fellow Sigmas, is what we're diving into today. Sigma males don't just move differently, they radiate a whole different frequency. Their nonverbal cues are a mix of confidence, control, and calm detachment. According to studies in psychology and kinesics, the science of body language, posture, eye contact, and micro-expressions play a major role in how we're perceived. Sigma males use this to their advantage, intentionally or not. In today's video, we're breaking down 11 strange body language cues only Sigma males display, and why they freak people out in the best way possible. You'll learn exactly why they walk the way they do, look the way they do, and even sit the way they do. Buckle up. Number 1. The silent head nod. Sigmas don't greet people with flashy high fives or loud shout-outs. That's just not their style. Instead, they give a slow, intentional head nod. It's subtle but speaks volumes. This small gesture says, "I see you, that's it, that's enough." It's confident, controlled, and carries quiet authority. In body language studies, a slow nod is often linked with self-assurance and dominance. Unlike exaggerated gestures that scream for attention, the Sigma nod is minimalistic and purposeful. It doesn't seek approval. It commands respect. What's fascinating is that others may not even register it right away, but when they do, something clicks. They feel acknowledged in a way that's oddly personal yet distant. And that's where the intimidation sets in. There's no performance, no theatrics, just presence. It's how Sigmas operate, moving through the world with quiet power, signaling strength without needing to speak a word. Number 2, the power lean. Most people instinctively lean forward in conversations to show interest or eagerness. It's a common social cue, signaling engagement. But Sigma males, they do the opposite. They lean back. This isn't laziness or disinterest, it's psychological strategy. Leaning back demonstrates calm control and self-assurance. It's the body language of someone who isn't trying to win approval or dominate the space. Instead, it says, "I'm comfortable. I don't need to chase validation." In fact, studies in nonverbal communication show that people who maintain relaxed posture are often perceived as more powerful and confident. Sigma males use this to their advantage. Their posture says they're listening, but they're also analyzing. This cool, detached presence actually draws others in, making people lean toward them both physically and emotionally. It flips the social dynamic. Instead of chasing connection, the Sigma effortlessly attracts it. That's the power of quiet confidence, spoken not with words but posture. Number 3, the controlled gaze. Sigma males don't dart their eyes around like they're chasing approval. Instead, they lock in with a calm, controlled gaze, just long enough to leave an impression, but never long enough to intimidate. This subtle eye contact signals quiet confidence. According to body language experts, holding eye contact for about 3-5 seconds strikes the perfect balance between connection and comfort. Sigmas master this. Their eyes aren't searching for validation. They're scanning for truth. They watch, they study. While others speak to be seen, Sigmas observe to understand. Their gaze is like a radar, not flashy, not aggressive, but piercing. That's why some people find them unsettling. It's like being read without a word spoken. But others, they find it magnetic, even alluring. It's the power of silent observation. In a world full of noise, the Sigma male's eyes speak volumes without saying a thing. Number 4, the strategic pause. Ever notice how some guys feel the need to fill every second with words, like they're afraid of silence? Not Sigma males. They've mastered the art of the pause. For them, silence isn't awkward, it's strategic. It creates tension, sparks curiosity, and commands attention. Studies in communication psychology show that deliberate pauses make a speaker appear more confident and intelligent. Sigmas understand this instinctively. Their silence isn't about being mysterious, it's about controlling the room without raising their voice. People lean in because when a Sigma speaks, it's usually worth hearing. Silence, used right, holds power. Speak less, impact more. That's the Sigma way. Number 5, the walk that doesn't try. A Sigma male's walk is an embodiment of confidence and independence. It's relaxed, balanced, and unhurried, reflecting a mindset that's not tethered to societal expectations. This deliberate pace shows he's on his own timeline, not rushing to meet anyone's standards. The lack of urgency in his stride signals to the world that he knows his direction and doesn't need to validate his journey to anyone. This quiet assurance is rooted in self-reliance, a trait that defines the Sigma male's identity. It's not about proving anything, it's simply the comfort of knowing who he is and where he's headed. Number 6, the no-fuss posture. Sigma males have a unique way of carrying themselves which sets them apart from the crowd. Unlike others who slouch or adjust their posture like they're at a sleepover, Sigma males sit or stand with a relaxed yet upright demeanor. Their shoulders are slightly back, and their spine is naturally aligned without any forced stiffness. This subtle yet powerful posture exudes confidence without needing to demand attention. Sigma males don't need to be the loudest in the room to be noticed. Their presence alone speaks volumes. It's the kind of quiet authority that draws respect from others effortlessly. Number 7, the subtle mirror. Most people naturally mirror others' behaviors to blend in, seek approval, and avoid social rejection. This psychological behavior, known as the chameleon effect, is largely subconscious and driven by the human need for connection. But Sigma males operate on a different wavelength. While they may also mirror others, they do so with a purpose, and it has nothing to do with fitting in. For Sigma males, mirroring is more like a calculated move in a mental chess game. They observe, reflect, and analyze, using subtle mimicry not to gain favor but to gather intel. This technique allows them to decode body language, detect lies, sense discomfort, or even predict future actions. It's strategic, not social. Imagine a poker player watching every twitch of their opponent. Sigma males do just that in real life. Their calm, observant nature makes them masters at reading the room without saying much. While others mirror to be liked, Sigmas mirror to understand. It's a quiet superpower rooted in emotional intelligence and situational awareness, giving them a distinct edge in both personal and professional settings. Number 8, the minimal fidgeting. Sigma males are known for their composed and deliberate demeanor. Unlike others who may fidget or display nervous energy, Sigmas exude calmness through their minimal and intentional movements. They don't bounce their legs or crack their knuckles. Instead, their stillness commands attention. This control over their body language sends a clear signal. They are in control of their environment and emotions. In a room full of chaos, their calm presence stands out, drawing people in. It's this mysterious sense of self-assurance that sparks curiosity in others, leaving them wondering, what does he know that I don't? Number 9, the unreadable facial expression. Sigma males are known for their mystery mask, a quiet yet powerful presence that keeps people intrigued. Their expressions are often neutral or hard to read, which adds to their mystique. Unlike others, they don't wear their emotions on their sleeves, and they smile infrequently. But when they do, it's magnetic. Imagine the rare moment of lightning in a calm sky. This unpredictability is what draws people in, leaving them constantly trying to decipher the Sigma male's thoughts or intentions. The truth is, no matter how hard they try, it's nearly impossible to fully understand a Sigma male's inner world. Number 10, the intentional touch. When Sigma males engage in physical contact such as a handshake or a pat on the shoulder, it's done with intention and confidence. They avoid weak handshakes that feel disengaged or overly enthusiastic pats that seem forced. Instead, their touch is firm, grounded, and purposeful. This simple yet powerful gesture sends a clear message. I acknowledge you, but it also subtly communicates boundaries, indicating that while they respect others, they are not seeking validation or approval. Sigma males maintain their independence, and their purposeful physical gestures reflect their self-assurance and no-nonsense attitude towards social interaction. Number 11, the deliberate turn away. Ever notice someone quietly exit a room or conversation, leaving no drama behind, yet somehow commanding attention? That's Sigma energy at work. Sigmas don't waste words or time. When they are done with a situation, they leave with intention, not an apology. It's this calm decisiveness that sets them apart, often leaving others in awe. People respect the Sigma male's boundaries because they know their time is valuable. This doesn't mean they're rude, it's just that they don't linger in places or with people who don't align with their goals or energy. In short, Sigmas know their worth, and others take notice. Sigmas, let's be real. Body language isn't about flexing muscles or acting cool, it's about energy, presence, inner alignment. These 11 cues, they're not tactics to copy. They're side effects of deep self-respect, of a man who doesn't seek to dominate, but refuses to be dominated. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You just need to know who you are. So if you ever wondered why people look twice, why they hesitate to approach you, or why you never feel the need to over-explain, now you know. Your body is speaking, without you saying a word. Let that message be one of confidence, purpose, and unwavering direction. Sigmas, if this video hit home, if you recognized even one of these body language cues in yourself, then you already know you're part of a rare breed. So, make it official. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join this growing tribe of Sigma males who move through life with quiet power and undeniable presence. Apply these qualities to your own journey, and watch the world shift around you. Having said this, she can't explain it, but she's to him. Why? It's not just looks, muscles, or money. It's something deeper, something that doesn't shout but whispers straight into her intuition. Sigmas, have you noticed it? That silent pull women feel toward a man who says little, avoids the spotlight, and isn't trying to win anyone over. Imagine a room where every guy is putting on a show, loud jokes, name-dropping, fake confidence. But in the corner, One guy, calm, composed, mysterious. He's not competing, he's observing. And yet, eyes find. That's the sigma effect. You see, women are biologically wired to notice outliers, those who don't follow the crowd. It triggers curiosity. And sigmas, they thrive in solitude, are self-sufficient and emotionally intelligent, and project quiet confidence. Studies show that unpredictability and emotional depth create stronger attraction responses in the female brain than flashiness ever could. So what makes him magnetic? He doesn't chase, he doesn't fake, he doesn't beg for validation. He simply exists with purpose. And that right there is power. Now let's dive deeper into the 8 mysterious things sigma males do that make them irresistible. Point 1. They disappear and reappear stronger. Sigmas are masters of silence, not because they dislike socializing, but because they understand the power of purposeful solitude. When a sigma male steps away from the social scene or goes quiet on social media, it's not about avoiding others, it's about recalibration. This behavior aligns with the lone wolf archetype, an independent individual who values personal growth over idle gossip. When sigmas make their return, it's not just a comeback, they might have started a business, written a book, transformed their body, or honed a new mindset. This transformation is magnetic, especially for women, as it demonstrates qualities like drive, discipline, and self-mastery, traits that are highly attractive and suggest long-term potential. Psychologically, absence increases value, a principle known as the scarcity effect. The less available something is, the more people desire it. Sigmas understand this and use silence strategically. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, a sigma's quiet moments reflect strength, not weakness. Point 2. They talk less, observe more. Here's the deal. While others are busy trying to be heard, the sigma is focused on listening deeply, not just to the words being spoken, but to everything beneath the surface. They pick up on body language, shifts in tone, subtle eye movements, and fleeting micro-expressions that last only a fraction of a second. These small cues offer more insight into a person's true thoughts and feelings than words alone ever could. Psychologically, this is rooted in the fact that over 90% of communication is nonverbal. Those who can read these silent signals have a distinct advantage in understanding others without ever speaking a word. Women in particular notice this. They feel truly seen and understood, not just heard. This rare form of attention creates a sense of mystery and intelligence, which is incredibly attractive. While others are making noise, the sigma remains quiet, analyzing, anticipating, and staying 3 steps ahead in a game of silent strategy. Point 3. They're emotionally unavailable, but not cold. Sigma males don't come across as emotionally unavailable in a cold or toxic way. Rather, they possess an emotional depth that's private, deliberate, and carefully guarded. This is what makes them fascinating. They don't walk into a room and start oversharing or spill their life story on a first date. Their inner world is sacred, and only those who earn access get to experience it. Psychologically, humans are wired to be intrigued by mystery. The Zeigarnik effect, a cognitive bias, explains this perfectly. It makes people more likely to remember incomplete or mysterious experiences. When a sigma male withholds just enough about himself, it triggers curiosity. He offers glimpses into his life, but then retreats slightly, creating a push-pull dynamic that keeps others interested. This subtle emotional tension, this balance of curiosity and connection, makes him magnetic. Women don't lean in because he's manipulative, but because his self-control and emotional depth make him feel like a rare, irresistible find. Point 4. They are unshakably purpose-driven. Sigmas have a mission, a purpose that goes beyond just a job or trendy side hustle. It's a deep calling that resonates with their very core, something that propels them forward without the need for external recognition. Unlike others who may chase money or status, sigmas are driven by a deeper purpose that aligns with their true selves. What sets them apart is their independence. Sigmas don't seek applause or validation from society. Research in psychology shows that individuals with a strong sense of purpose tend to be more resilient, creative, and effective leaders. These are qualities Sigmas naturally embody. Their focus is magnetic. Women in particular are drawn to men who are rooted in purpose. This signals emotional strength, stability, and direction, traits linked to high-value partners according to evolutionary psychology. Sigmas don't flaunt their vision. When they speak, it's because their goals are deeply ingrained in their identity. Their passion for self-growth isn't just ambition, it's who they are. That quiet intensity they carry, that's their true allure. In a world full of noise, Sigmas remain the calm, unstoppable force, grounded in purpose. Point 5. They give respect, but never chase validation. Sigmas treat people with dignity. They're respectful, polite, even charming, but they never seek validation. And that's a rare combination in today's world. Most men fall into two extremes. Some overextend themselves to win approval, while others adopt an arrogant, dismissive attitude to appear powerful. But the Sigma male? He's different. He's balanced. He might hold the door open, offer a sincere compliment, or engage in a thoughtful conversation, but never at the cost of his self-worth. If someone disrespects him, especially in a romantic context, he won't argue or beg for recognition. He'll simply walk away, not out of pride, but out of principle. Psychologically, this behavior aligns with high self-esteem and internal validation. Studies show that individuals who don't rely on external validation experience lower anxiety and higher life satisfaction. Sigmas live by this. They know their value and won't compromise it for fleeting approval. And this quiet confidence, it speaks volumes. It sends a powerful message. You're important, but I matter too. In a world filled with overcompensation and emotional neediness, this calm strength stands out. It draws people in, not because he's trying, but because he's simply being authentic. And that authenticity, it captivates. Point 6. They're mysteriously self-contained. Ever meet someone who's just good, with or without you? That's a Sigma male. He's not chasing attention or relying on constant reassurance. Why? Because he doesn't need it. He's not texting non-stop or flooding social media. He's too busy building skills, exploring new ideas, and leveling up mentally, emotionally, and even financially. The Sigma male is self-contained. He's his own best friend, motivator, and rival. This kind of internal drive is rare and powerful. Psychologists call it the ability to maintain your identity and values without being overly influenced by others. This trait breeds emotional intelligence and personal stability. And here's where it gets interesting. When a woman senses you're not needy, but simply inviting her to share the journey, not complete it, that's attractive. True independence isn't aloofness, it's strength. It tells the world, I've got me. And ironically, that makes others want to be part of your orbit. Point 7. They flirt without flirting. Sigmas have a unique power, the ability to create tension without saying a word. It's not through grand gestures or loud statements, but through the smallest of actions. A quick glance, a knowing smirk, or a perfectly timed pause. They understand that sometimes silence speaks louder than anything else. What sets them apart is their grounded energy. Unlike others who may need to impress or seek validation, Sigmas exude confidence effortlessly. Their presence is unforced, yet it commands attention. This subtlety is what makes their energy so magnetic. People are drawn in without even knowing why. In a world full of bold pickup lines and extravagant displays, Sigmas cut through the noise. They don't seek the spotlight, but somehow it finds them. This quiet, powerful magnetism is like electricity. It's felt even when it's not spoken. Point 8. They don't try to be mysterious, they are. Sigma males don't intentionally try to be mysterious. It's simply a natural aspect of their personality. Unlike others who may seek attention or validation, Sigma males prioritize living authentically and focusing on personal growth. They don't feel the need to share every detail of their life or wear their emotions on their sleeve. Because of this, they often come off as enigmatic or intriguing. Mystery, in this case, isn't a strategy. It's a byproduct of their self-sufficiency and independence. Sigma males aren't concerned with being understood or trying to fit into societal expectations. Instead, they invest their energy in becoming the best version of themselves, which in turn makes them appear more alluring. This paradox, living authentically without seeking attention, makes Sigma males irresistibly attractive to women. Their focus on personal growth, rather than the approval of others, is a quality that many find captivating. So, Sigmas, these 8 mysterious things aren't tricks. They're truths. They're the side effects of living with purpose, independence, and emotional intelligence. And the beautiful twist, you don't do them for attention. You do them because you refuse to chase it. Women are drawn to mystery, but the real win is being so in tune with yourself that their attention becomes a byproduct, not a goal. So keep disappearing to level up. Keep talking less and observing more. Keep being the man who turns heads, not with noise, but with presence. And if this resonated with you, if you see yourself in this Sigma path, or want to walk it, then like this video, subscribe, and join this powerful community of Sigmas, men who are quietly changing the game, rewriting the rules, and living life on their terms. Having said this, they call him cold, distant, different. But the truth is, he's free. Ever wonder why the Sigma male doesn't flinch under society's microscope? Picture this. You're at a loud party. Everyone's glued to their phones, chasing validation with likes, showing off, and trying to fit in. But in the corner, there's a guy sipping water, observing quietly. Doesn't care to impress, doesn't need to. That's the Sigma male. Social pressure doesn't affect him because he's not playing the same game. Unlike others who crave approval, Sigmas operate outside the traditional social hierarchy. They don't follow trends or seek attention. They've mastered the art of living authentically. Why? Because Sigmas value independence. Their strength lies in being self-reliant and self-aware. So they're not swayed by external validation. They focus on their goals, self-improvement, and personal freedom, which gives them a deep sense of confidence. They don't care about the superficial opinions others cling to. Today we're diving into why social pressure has no hold on Sigma males, exploring their mindset, lifestyle, and the powerful way they live life on their terms. Point 1. Sigmas play by their own rules. Here's the deal. While the world is out here following trends and chasing likes, Sigma males are outliers. They're crafting their own codes, living by their own rules. They're not impressed by flashy fads or the latest TikTok routine that claims waking up at 5 a.m. guarantees success. Sigmas know better. They observe, analyze, and decide. Why? Because being influenced is and Sigmas consistently choose freedom over fitting in. This isn't some teenage rebellion, it's strategic independence. Studies in social psychology show that individuals who resist conformity tend to exhibit higher levels of self-esteem and internal motivation. That's the Sigma way. They've seen how trend chasing turns people into puppets, constantly adjusting who they are just to stay accepted. Sigmas cut those strings long ago. They're not out to impress, they're out to evolve. And if society labels them weird or antisocial, even better. That means they're walking their own path. In a world full of copies, Sigmas stay rare, and that rarity is exactly what makes them powerful. Point 2. Sigmas prioritize inner peace over outer approval. You know what social pressure feeds on? Insecurity, the craving to be liked, followed, validated. Most people fall into the trap, constantly measuring their worth by how others perceive them. But Sigmas? They flip the script. Sigmas understand a fundamental truth. Peace isn't external. It's not found in likes, trends, or fake applause. It comes from knowing who you are, owning your path, and refusing to shrink just to fit in. Psychologists call this internal locus of control, the belief that your life is shaped by your actions, not the opinions of others. While the average person posts for approval, the Sigma male journals for growth. He reflects, reads, meditates, and sharpens his mind in silence. His validation doesn't come from comments, it comes from self-mastery. This inner grounding makes Sigmas unshakable. Social pressure can't move a man who's not looking to impress. That calm confidence, it's not loud, it's powerful. And the truth is, once you stop chasing validation, you start attracting respect. That's the Sigma way. Peace over popularity, purpose over applause. Point 3. Sigmas know that silence is a superpower. While most people fear silence, rushing to fill gaps with gossip, noise, and nonsense, Sigma males lean into it. But here's the truth. Silence isn't emptiness. It's clarity. And science backs this up. Studies show that just 2 minutes of silence can lower blood pressure and reduce cortisol levels, your stress hormone. For Sigmas, silence is their superpower. It's the space where they reflect, analyze, and strategize. They don't speak just to be heard. When they talk, it's with intention, purposeful, powerful, and precise. This is why social pressure doesn't faze them. When the world gets loud, when people panic, overshare, or perform for attention, Sigmas go inward. They don't chase the noise, they master the pause, and in that quiet they find clarity most people miss. Silence helps them detach from emotional chaos, making them harder to manipulate. Because when you're not afraid of your own thoughts, when you can sit with yourself without distraction, the world loses its grip on you. So the next time things get loud, remember, the real power isn't in the noise, it's in the silence. Point 4. Sigmas value purpose over popularity. Let's be real, popularity is overrated. It's a fleeting illusion. One moment you're in and the next you're forgotten, but purpose? Purpose is eternal. Sigmas don't care about being the most liked. They care about being the most aligned with their goals. Whether it's building a business, writing a book, or mastering a skill, Sigmas invest in what truly matters to them. And if that makes them unpopular, so be it. While others chase clout, Sigmas chase legacy. They understand that lasting impact comes from staying true to oneself, not from seeking approval. Legacy endures, and that's what counts. Point 5. Sigmas don't seek permission, they act. Society often tells us to wait our turn, to follow the prescribed steps and timelines, but Sigma males take a different approach. They don't wait for approval or validation from others. Instead, they act on their own instincts and goals, choosing to move forward without seeking permission. They build their dreams quietly, without the need for applause or recognition. This autonomy allows them to remain immune to external pressures, as they've already granted themselves permission to live life on their terms. It's this rare trait, self-authorization, that sets Sigma males apart. They embody confidence and independence, creating their own path and showing the world that true power comes from within. Point 6. Sigmas embrace being alone, not lonely. Here's a truth bomb. Sigmas aren't scared of being alone. They actually thrive in solitude. While many people seek the energy of a crowd to feel alive, Sigmas recharge by stepping away from the noise. They understand that solitude is a space for growth, reflection, and self-discovery. It's not about loneliness for them. It's about focus and clarity. In those quiet moments, Sigmas learn, train, and develop skills that set them apart. Greatness isn't born in the chaos of the crowd. It's forged in the stillness. Solitude is where Sigmas hone their unique qualities, gain new insights, and become the strong, independent individuals they are. Embrace the quiet. It's where real transformation happens. Point 7. Sigmas think long-term, not trend-term. Trends may be tempting, offering quick fame and instant clout, but Sigma males don't fall for the hype. Instead of hopping on the latest fad, they focus on long-term success. Sigmas are pattern observers. They can analyze current events and predict future outcomes. They avoid impulsive decisions and instead make moves that will pay off in the future. This ability to think beyond the moment is why they stay grounded and never chase fleeting trends. They're strategic, and every action they take is part of a bigger picture. Unlike others who rely on short-term fame, Sigmas build lasting success, one calculated step at a time, brick by brick, creating a strong foundation for their empires. Point 8. Sigmas understand social currency and don't buy in. Social currency is the modern equivalent of wealth, where likes, followers, and clout are the currencies. It's all about the economy of attention, where everyone is vying for validation. However, most people are broke in this economy. They're constantly spending their energy on gaining approval, often at the cost of their true selves. Sigmas, on the other hand, choose to save their energy. They understand that attention isn't worth the cost of authenticity. Instead of flexing or seeking validation, they simply flow with who they are. The irony? Their refusal to conform and play the game of external validation makes them incredibly magnetic. It's their authenticity that draws others in. Point 9. Sigmas stay true, even when it's hard. Conformity is a comfortable path. It's easy to blend in, follow trends, and seek approval. But authenticity, that takes courage. Sigma males understand this deeply. They prioritize truth over popularity, even if it means standing alone. They refuse to shrink themselves to fit societal expectations, instead expanding into their true selves. Those who can't accept this authenticity, they can walk away. Sigmas know that you can't impress everyone while staying true to yourself, and they've embraced that. By choosing authenticity over validation, they tap into a powerful force, one that comes from within. This self-awareness is what allows them to live life on their own terms, without compromise. And in this power, they thrive. Point 10. Sigmas redefine success for themselves. Society often pushes the idea that success is defined by wealth, fame, and a large following. But for Sigmas, success is about internal growth and peace. Sigmas focus on finding purpose and becoming better versions of themselves, rather than chasing external validation. Their definition of success is personal and unique. It could be as simple as building a cabin in the woods to find solitude, mastering a skill like chess, or raising a child with values like integrity. This approach eliminates the pressure of competing with others. Since they're not trying to keep up with societal standards or benchmarks, they can create their own path, grounded in fulfillment and authenticity. For Sigmas, success isn't a race, it's a journey towards personal mastery and peace, where external achievements are secondary to inner contentment and purpose. Social pressure only works on those who need the crowd. But Sigmas, they walk alone, not because they have to, but because they choose to. They've mastered the art of silent power. They don't flex, they focus. They don't chase trends, they chase truth. And in doing so, they live on a frequency few can hear, but all can feel. Sigmas, if this hit home, like this video, subscribe and join this tribe of powerful minds. Let's build a community of thinkers, not followers, of leaders, not seekers. You don't have to fit in to stand tall. You just have to stand firm. Having said this, hello Sigmas. The idea that Sigma males are autonomous, intelligent, and mysterious has been discussed a lot, but did you realize that there are specific things that only these individuals truly enjoy? These unique preferences aren't just quirks. They're part of what sets Sigmas apart from the crowd and often leaves people scratching their heads. While beta males are drawn to comfort zones and alpha males chase status and attention, Sigma males walk a different path entirely. They value experiences and habits that stimulate their mind, protect their peace, and deepen their self-awareness. From late-night walks alone to silent reflection in crowded places, Sigma males are all about depth over display. Research in personality psychology shows that introverted, intuitive individuals, traits often found in Sigma personalities, derive satisfaction from introspective and unconventional experiences. These behaviors may appear odd to the average person, but for Sigmas, they're energizing and deeply fulfilling. So if you've ever been told your habits are weird, don't worry. You might just be a Sigma. Let's dive into 11 peculiar activities that only these mysterious men genuinely find enjoyable. Point 1. Silent mornings over loud alarms. Sigmas don't wake up to chaos. They craft their mornings with the same precision they bring to their lives, silent, focused, and intentional. While most people are hitting the snooze button for the 5th time and scrambling to beat the clock, a Sigma male is already up, centered, and in control. Science backs this up. Studies show that early risers tend to be more proactive and have better mental health. But for a Sigma, it's more than productivity. It's about peace. A Sigma starts his day with rituals that ground him, perhaps a quiet stretch, a strong cup of black coffee, or a few moments of deep reflection. That silence isn't just quiet time, it's a launch pad for clarity and purpose. Mornings set the tone, and for Sigmas, that tone is calm confidence. It's not about avoiding the world, it's about mastering it, one deliberate breath at a time. Point 2. Long solo walks with no destination. Most people hate walking without a destination. They need a reason, a goal, a finish line, but not the Sigma male. To him, wandering isn't a waste of time. It's a silent strategy. When he walks aimlessly, his mind becomes a canvas where ideas paint themselves freely. Neuroscience backs this up. Walking, especially in nature, activates the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for creative problem-solving and introspection. While society glorifies constant motion and measurable results, the Sigma embraces the opposite. He understands that peace without purpose is not laziness, it's clarity. Great thinkers like Steve Jobs and Nietzsche were known for their long walks, using them as mental reset buttons. For the Sigma, these quiet strolls aren't about getting somewhere. They're about becoming someone. So while the world rushes to do more, he strolls to think deeper, recharge fully, and return stronger. Wandering is his quiet rebellion, and his secret weapon. Point 3. Deep conversations over small talk. So how's the weather? That's the moment a Sigma male mentally checks out. It's not arrogance, it's wiring. The Sigma mind isn't built for surface-level chatter. It's designed for depth, for intensity. Studies in psychology suggest that introverted, intuitive types like Sigma males crave meaningful conversation because it stimulates their introspective and analytical nature. While others may thrive on casual dialogue, the Sigma male seeks the behind everything. Ask him about mortality, the cosmos, or the psychology of human behavior, and watch his eyes light up. At 3 a.m., while the world sleeps, he's awake contemplating life's biggest questions. Small talk feels like eating dry toast when he knows there's a full-course philosophical meal waiting to be served. Shallow waters offer no challenge, and a Sigma? He's not afraid to dive into the unknown, where ideas roam freely and conversations actually matter. Point 4. Creating over competing. Sigma males aren't in competition with others. They're in creation mode. While alpha males often strive for dominance, chasing recognition and battling for the spotlight, Sigma males quietly step away from the noise. They're not trying to win a race someone else designed. Instead, they focus on building something meaningful on their own terms. It's not about proving superiority, it's about crafting value. Psychologically, this aligns with high levels of and traits often associated with Sigma personalities. These men may vanish for months, but during that time they're not idle. They're learning new skills, writing books, launching businesses, or creating solutions that shake up the status quo. When they return, they don't talk about what they've been doing. They show you. That's their real power. The Sigma male's path isn't about applause, it's about impact. While others compete, he creates. And that's what makes him unforgettable. Point 5. Old books with yellow pages. While the world scrolls TikTok, the Sigma scrolls the worn-out pages of a 1972 philosophy book. Why? Because wisdom isn't found in 10-second dopamine hits. It's found in ideas that have endured centuries. Think Marcus Aurelius, Nietzsche, or Alan Watts, minds that still challenge us today. To the Sigma, this isn't about nostalgia. It's mental fuel. He doesn't chase trends. He chases timeless truths. Unlike fast-consumed content, classic philosophy trains the mind to think deeply, question boldly, and live intentionally. For him, knowledge isn't fast food, it's a slow-cooked feast for the soul, and he savors every bite, even if the world doesn't. Point 6. Mystery over fame. Fame? Nah. Validation? Nope. Sigma males thrive in the shadows, not the spotlight. Their allure lies in mystery, the power of being unreadable. This ambiguity sparks curiosity in others, drawing attention without trying. Psychologists call this the pratfall effect, where imperfection or unpredictability boosts intrigue. Unlike alpha males who crave recognition, Sigmas find power in autonomy. They're not antisocial, they're selectively social, no labels, no need for applause. By avoiding the noise of validation, they gain clarity, freedom, and authenticity. It's not about being known, it's about being real, living on their terms, and letting the world wonder what's behind the curtain. Point 7. Observing instead of participating. At parties, the Sigma male isn't the loudest in the room, he's the most observant. While others dance or dominate conversations, he stays on the sidelines, quietly analyzing the scene. He's not antisocial, he's a strategist. Studies in social psychology show that highly observant individuals often pick up on subtle cues, body language, tone shifts, micro-expressions that others overlook. The Sigma uses this awareness to understand group dynamics and human behavior deeply. He notices who's authentic, who's pretending, and who's watching whom. While others perform, he gathers insight. He's not there to impress, he's there to understand, calculate, and sometimes outmaneuver. Point 8. Building mental fortresses. A Sigma doesn't just want peace, it. His mind is his fortress, not easily shaken by chaos or noise. Through practices like meditation, which studies show can lower stress and enhance focus, he sharpens his inner clarity. Self-discipline becomes his daily armor, shaping habits that serve, not sabotage. Reflection isn't a pastime, it's a ritual for growth. While the world seeks escape, the Sigma male dives inward, turning solitude into a sanctuary. Mental resilience is his spa day, a place where discomfort is embraced and mastery is forged. For him, true power begins where external distractions end and inner order begins. Point 9. The challenge of being misunderstood. Most people fear being misunderstood because it threatens their sense of belonging, but the Sigma male thrives on it. He doesn't crave validation, he craves authenticity. When others don't get him, it doesn't shake his confidence, it strengthens it. That misunderstanding becomes proof he's thinking independently, not following the herd. Psychologists call this positive deviance, acting differently in a way that leads to better outcomes. While others conform, the Sigma refines his unique vision. He lives on a higher frequency, tuned to purpose and not popularity. So if he's misunderstood, good. It means he's not average, and never will be. Point 10. Mastery of one, not jack of all. In a world that praises juggling 5 tasks at once, Sigma males stand out by doing the exact opposite. They master one. Neuroscience backs them up. Studies show that deep focus boosts productivity, memory, and skill retention far more than multitasking ever could. Whether it's mastering Brazilian jiu-jitsu, composing music, or perfecting code, the Sigma male isn't scattered, he's surgical. This laser-sharp focus leads to real expertise, not just surface-level knowledge. While the world flips between trends, he commits. He's not interested in being average at many things. He's determined to be exceptional at one. That's not just different, it's powerful. Point 11. Being alone without feeling lonely. This is the ultimate Sigma signature. Solitude doesn't scare him, it fuels him. It's where he plans, heals, learns, and levels up. Being alone isn't his weakness, it's his superpower. Studies in psychology show that intentional solitude boosts creativity, self-awareness, and emotional resilience. While many seek validation in crowds, the Sigma male thrives in his own company. He uses quiet moments to sharpen his mind, reflect on his goals, and master his emotions. Solitude becomes his strategic weapon. Where others feel lost without social interaction, the Sigma finds clarity. This isn't isolation, it's evolution. Alone, he doesn't fade. He rises stronger, smarter, and more unstoppable. Sigmas, in a world that pressures you to conform, these uncommon preferences aren't flaws, they're signs of your rare wiring. You don't need to explain why you like what you like. Your silence is louder than noise. Your solitude is more crowded than some parties. And your vision? It's rooted, not reactive. These 11 uncommon likes are more than just habits. They're symbols of a mindset that refuses to be molded by society. You weren't built to follow the crowd. You were built to build something the crowd will one day follow. So own it, embrace it, live it. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more Sigmas. Sigmas, if this video resonated with you, don't just scroll past. Like this video, subscribe, and join this growing community of men who live by purpose, not popularity. Let's keep building, growing, and standing firm in who we are. Apply these Sigma traits to your life, not to impress, but to impact. Having said this, greetings, Sigmas. You walk into a room, and everyone notices you, not because you said a word, but because your presence speaks. Ever wondered why some men have this mysterious energy that turns heads and captivates hearts without even trying? A man once sat alone at a cafe, sipping black coffee, reading a worn-out copy of Nietzsche. He didn't glance up. He didn't speak to anyone. Yet every woman in the room noticed him. Why? Because he wasn't trying to be noticed. That, my fellow Sigmas, is the aura we're about to decode. Sigma males don't chase attention, they attract it naturally. And that makes their aura not just powerful, but downright irresistible. In today's world, where everyone's screaming to be seen, there's a breed of man who thrives in silence, moves with purpose, and radiates energy that commands respect. These men don't need followers, but they gain them. They don't need validation, but their confidence validates itself. So what exactly gives Sigma males this rare magnetic pull? Today, we're going all in to explore why Sigma males have the most irresistible aura on planet Earth. Let's dive in, Sigmas. Number 1. The power of silence, when less is more. Sigmas aren't loud, and that's exactly why their presence speaks volumes. In social settings, people often mistake silence for weakness, but psychological studies suggest otherwise. According to research in behavioral psychology, silence can actually convey power and status. The quietest person in the room often draws the most attention, not because of what they say, but because of what they say. This is called the Sigmas don't feel the need to dominate conversations or fill silence with meaningless chatter. Instead, they observe, listen, and speak with intention. Their restraint sparks curiosity. People naturally want to know what a quiet, self-possessed person is thinking. That unknown creates mystery, and mystery is a powerful tool of attraction. Sigmas aren't trying to impress anyone. They're not driven by the need to prove themselves. They make every word count, and when they do speak, people listen. That kind of energy can't be faked. It's built from self-awareness, confidence, and the ability to be content in one's own space. In a world of noise, Sigmas are the quiet storm, and that's why they stand out. Number 2, independence that turns heads. A Sigma male doesn't outsource his identity, validation, or happiness to anyone. Not society, not trends, and certainly not romantic interests. He moves to the beat of his own drum, even if that rhythm is one only he can hear. This level of self-sufficiency isn't just admirable, it's deeply attractive. Psychologists call this the belief that you are responsible for your own life rather than external forces. People with this mindset are more resilient, confident, and emotionally stable. And women notice. When a Sigma walks into a room, he doesn't need to announce his worth. It's embedded in how he carries himself. This independence creates a paradox. The less he seeks approval, the more others seek his. His contentment doesn't depend on relationships, titles, or social validation. That silent message, "I've got me," resonates louder than any attempt to impress. Ironically, the world begins to chase what it can't control. The Sigma becomes desirable not because he tries to be, but because his self-sufficiency signals value, strength, and emotional maturity, all qualities that are rare and highly attractive in today's world. Number 3, purpose over popularity. Sigmas live by a different code. While many people shape their lives around social approval, chasing likes, followers, and fleeting attention, a Sigma operates with intention. He doesn't post for applause or act for validation. Instead, everything he does aligns with his personal values and deeper purpose. This mindset ties directly into the psychological concept of doing something because it is inherently meaningful, not because of external rewards. Research shows that people who are intrinsically motivated tend to experience greater life satisfaction, resilience, and confidence. That's the energy a Sigma gives off. Because he's not trying to blend in or follow trends, a Sigma naturally stands out. He's not swayed by the crowd or concerned with being liked. He's focused on something deeper, goals that matter, principles that define him, and a life built on authenticity. And here's the truth, nothing attracts people like purpose. When a man is grounded in something real, it shows. Women can sense when a man is walking a path of his own making. It's rare, it's inspiring. And in a world full of noise and imitation, a Sigma's quiet conviction is magnetic. Number 4, emotional control, calm in the chaos. When chaos hits, most people panic. Emotions run high, decisions get sloppy, and control slips away. But not the Sigma male. While everyone else is reacting, he's calculating. Cool, composed, and unshaken. He's the eye in the middle of the storm. This emotional discipline isn't just a personality trait, it's a psychological advantage rooted in. According to studies in behavioral psychology, individuals with strong emotional regulation tend to make better decisions under pressure. They think clearly, assess risks accurately, and maintain control over their environment. That's exactly what sets the Sigma apart. He doesn't just survive chaos, he uses it. This level of calm creates an undeniable presence. Women feel safe around him because he exudes stability. He doesn't get lost in drama or react impulsively. He's grounded, and in an unpredictable world, that's magnetic. Men, on the other hand, respect him, not because he demands it, but because he's earned it. He doesn't chase status or force dominance, he simply leads by example. In moments when others lose their grip, the Sigma stays firm. Chaos doesn't shake him, it reveals him. And that's why he always comes out on top. Number 5. Eye contact that says everything. Sigmas have mastered a unique form of communication, silent dominance. While most people rely heavily on words to convey confidence or intent, a Sigma speaks through presence. His gaze isn't random, it's deliberate, focused, and deeply penetrating. It's been said that one look from a Sigma can feel like an X-ray to the soul, and there's science behind that. According to research in eye contact that is steady and purposeful, signals high status, confidence, and emotional intelligence. Unlike others who might look away out of nervousness or overcompensate with intense staring, a Sigma's gaze is balanced and powerful. It communicates, I see you, but I'm not trying to impress you. This psychological confidence is rooted in Sigmas have no need to prove themselves or seek approval, so their body language reflects calm dominance. He doesn't break eye contact because he isn't hiding anything. That level of comfort within himself creates an unspoken tension, one that women often find hypnotic. It's not just eye contact, it's when a Sigma walks into a room, his silence speaks louder than others' words. It's subtle, it's commanding, and it makes people pay attention without even knowing why. Number 6. Rebellion with a cause. He's not a rebel for attention, he's a rebel with purpose. A Sigma doesn't oppose authority just to make noise, he challenges it when it clashes with his values. This isn't teenage rebellion, it's principled independence. While others chase trends, approval, or herd mentality, the Sigma pauses and thinks. This mindset is deeply connected to the psychological trait known as the ability to remain true to oneself even under social pressure. People with this trait don't just follow the crowd, they question, analyze, and decide for themselves. That's what makes a Sigma so rare. Even when the path is steep and isolating, he chooses authenticity over popularity. And that choice radiates a powerful energy, freedom. It's the kind of energy that commands respect without demanding it. Women and men alike sense that he's not easily swayed, not easily impressed, and definitely not easily controlled. In a world driven by groupthink, a Sigma's quiet resistance shines like a beacon. It's not just about being different, it's about being free. And that kind of freedom, it doesn't scream, it whispers, and everyone listens. Number 7, they don't need you, but they value you. This one's subtle but incredibly powerful. A Sigma male doesn't anyone to complete him. He's not driven by approval, popularity, or external validation. Psychologically, this reflects high, a trait linked to strong self-identity and confidence. And yet, despite not relying on others, a Sigma treats everyone with deep respect. He doesn't use people to boost his ego or chase clout through shallow relationships. His value isn't tied to how many people like him, but to how authentic he is, and that's rare. When someone is in a Sigma's inner circle, it's not by accident. It's a conscious choice. That level of selectivity is magnetic. People sense when they're genuinely chosen, not just tolerated. It makes them feel valued, seen, and respected. In a world where many give their time freely to gain approval, a Sigma's selective energy sends a clear message. Now, Sigmas. Here's the truth. This aura, it's not something you're born with, it's something you build. Brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. And every time you choose solitude over shallow company, purpose over popularity, depth over distraction, you become more Sigma. This isn't about ego, it's about essence. It's about becoming the man who doesn't follow the crowd because he leads himself. So ask yourself, are you living to be seen or living to be felt? Because Sigmas don't just leave impressions, they leave legacies. Sigmas, if this video resonated with you, if something in your spirit whispered, "That's me," then it's time to own it. You are the storm behind the silence, the gravity in the room, the mystery no one can solve but everyone wants to experience. That's the aura. That's the power, that's the Sigma within you. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and join this growing community of Sigmas who are choosing to live purposefully, authentically, and unapologetically. And as always, keep building, keep reflecting, keep showing up as your highest self. Having said this,